Hi there, my name is Liam, Technical Manager at Oprema, and thank you to those who've subscribed, liked and shared our channel, and especially to those who have commented on the last video that we did to be put into a draw for an AES Slim Kit. All your names are currently in this bag here, which I'll draw out in a second. Today's video is going to be on the Dahua Toolbox. Quite a few of you requested this due to the nature and the products that are in there, so we'll go through that briefly in a second. And secondly, I'd like to shout out Dave Davis of DVS, much appreciated in your video last week, the Die Tech. Obviously, if you guys want to watch him, hop over to his channel. I'm sure you'll be more than welcome over there as well. So let's get this draw over and done with. The winner of the kit is James Roberts. Congratulations, James. Also show you it wasn't empty, there's plenty of other names in the bag. James, I'll get that kit sorted out and delivered to you. Thank you everyone else who have also watched our channel and also commented on the videos. Please don't forget to get in touch if you want any other further videos, request any products. Doesn't have to be Dahua related, but obviously this week we're doing a Dahua, the Toolbox. Thank you very much for your time again today. We'll be back in a second. Our Toolbox open in front of me. It's quite a useful product this because it covers quite a few bases. You've got a set of models, this is for setup and configuration of your devices, and playing records, so things like your CMS, which is the Dahua Smart PSS software. You have your convert tool for playback and archiving, etc. So it's full of any useful products. Once you've installed the products that suited to you, you have a list here which are my tools. As you can see, I've got them all currently installed. And the ones you use most commonly at the top here, this is like a favourites list, so the ones you can use, they'll literally drop to the top there. It does auto upgrade, so it tells you if there's any upgrades available. It literally tells you there, so as you can see, all mine's currently up to date, so I don't have to worry too much about there. Then you've got this resource tab. This resource tab is really useful because what it does, it gives you the option for the SDKs. You can download and have a little look at them if you need to. And also you've got the user manuals. This is great for your end user, and also if you need to get over a manual quite quickly, you can pick a product there. So for instance, a network video recorder, you can pick which series, on the hard drive base again, so they'll be like an MBR5 5416 for instance. You can click on there, you can do a download there, or you can do the QR code scan. It gives you a quick start guide and also a user manual, which is there at the touch of a button. It covers everything off for transmissions, so it covers the switches. We also have the drones covered off in there, as well as the HDCVI product. So again, you can pick which product in the series you have. You can click there, and again you have a user manual and a quick installation guide. All in the software, all there for you. So again, your end users can use this or yourself in your offices accordingly. When you finish, go back to my tools. I'm going to cover off Smart PSS briefly. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this, purely because we're going to be doing a few further video on this as it's been requested. So the top row is for operationals, whether it be live view, and these two options here for your VDP and VTO options, video or an event. You've got a playback option for playing back footage, devices, device config, event configuration. This is obviously setting up your recorders or whatever you got connected to the PSS. And we'll cover all the other bits and pieces off in greater detail when we do that video. So I'll show you how to add a device. It's relatively simple. Click devices. If you're already on the network, you can literally do a network search. You can put your IP range in there and search across that list. Or so you can just manually add. So you can give it a device name, use an IP or domain with a relevant IP address or domain name, and the port. Obviously 37777 is the default Dahua. You can change that to whatever it needs to be, and obviously as long as it's in the recorder is the same, and also in your router. And then this does apply to the literally device name and username and password, and it will then log in, and then obviously once it's online it'll go green like it is in there. Click the live view. Again, you've got a little tree there. There's your group. If I want to pick a particular camera, click that, drop that in. Give it a few seconds, then it will generate a live view. Very, very simple. If I want to do playback, works exactly the same. Click playback, drop down the little tree, pick the particular camera. I can change the recording type, whether it be general, if it's on continuous, alarm record, VMD, intelligent, card record. That's if you're using the video intercom stuff. If I do a search, and then I see my bars populated there, I'm going to click there, give it a few seconds. There's a video playback of what's going on in that particular camera at that time scale. I say I'm only going to briefly cover that off, purely for the fact of that we're going to do a further video on this. One thing I will say is when you log in, it does require a password, so you can set that accordingly. But I would recommend that you put the forgot my password email address in, because people do forget passwords, and it is really handy. Otherwise you have to uninstall the software, you lose your full configuration, and it's a bit of a nightmare. Another great tool here is the config tool. This obviously sniffs the network for Dahua devices. You can narrow down the search list if you like. So obviously you've got the cameras, MVRs, DVRs, other products like the AMPR products and speed domes. So we'll just do a little search here for some stuff. As you can see, I got one which is red there, which is an uninitialized product. I'm going to tick that. I can search for uninitialized only if I need to. I'm going to show you how to initialize the camera now. So put a little tick in the box. Click initialize. As you can see, it's also ticked there. This is the product I have just available to my left hand side here. Click initialize and you give it a new password. So if I give that a new password, again, email address, if you forget your password, this is quite essential. So I'm going to put this to, so I do forget the password, it'll email us a link. You're going to have it for easy for IP, for P2P and EG connection, and automatically check for updates if it sits on the network. I just turn that off. As you can see, that is now had a little green tick. That means now that's done. If I press finish, if I now refresh, as you can see, it's now disappeared out of my uninitialized list. Then I finish the search. There, it's back in the default. If I this, put a little tick in multiples of IP addresses, I could do this all in one go. So like batch modify IP address. I'm going to change this to our network range. So I'll change that to that's now going to fail. The reason that failed is what's most common is password error. So what you do need to do, if you do change the password and initialize it, you need to go search settings here and set it to the correct password that you've set your cameras or devices onto. So I now change that. If I go back into my device there, if I modify IP address, the details are still in there. If I now press OK, as you can see now that is now ticked. If I do a little search again, that is now changed to the relevant IP address. It's quite important that you do change this password, otherwise it's not going to do that for you. So one of the things we do come across quite commonly in tech support. You've got device configuration, you can go into a device itself. If I pick that particular device, it'll log in, because I obviously have the credentials up here. I can do some changes in configuration, change the image, profile management. I can do all that from here. I can also do things like times, rebooting, restoring. I can do this all through this page here. Set the time and date accordingly. I can reset the password all from here. One thing that is quite handy in here, if you click this little drop down box here and you have a help tab, if you click the help tab, it does load a full manual. So if you're unsure how to actually do something, you can, there is a full manual here, and if you actually scroll down, there is actually visual aids there for you. You can click on them, so it shows you step by step with the visual aids of how to do certain things in the tools. That is in most of the Dahua products, including the Smart PSS product. What you can do is also go to batch upgrades. If you need to do a firmware upgrade across multiple products, again you can tick them all, tick single ones, whatever means that you need to do. Click batch upgrade, click browse to your firmware, find the file location, press OK. As long as the username and password is correct up here, it will send that file, do an upgrade, and give you a little progress bar across this section here. Great, really easy. Also template management, so you can create a template for your site, so you can set them to be all your cameras to be 4 megapixel, 25 frames a second. You can create a template and import it back in. So I'm not going to cover it off too heavily for you. Again, if you need to find it, then you've got the help section. You can scroll down here and it gives you all the information about how to create your templates and everything. Really easy. Nice simple tool. All this available for you in the Dahua Toolbox. Another great one is a disk calculator. So if you're adding, if you need to find out what storage you need for your MVR or DVR, so obviously we can pick 16 channels. We can use Smart H265 compression, and you can pick your environment. It'll be high, low, or medium. And what you can do is Dahua gives you a rough what it thinks the scene would look like on a medium. So that is roughly what I think a medium scene would look like. And you can pick your resolution of your camera. You can pick your frame rate. And what you can do is, say you need 31-day storage, for instance, click there, and then it tells you how much storage you're going to require, so 4 terabytes, just under, and how much network storage, network bandwidth you're going to need. So you're going to have multiples of this. You can have multiple different resolutions if you needed to, and obviously the storage will change accordingly. Great little tool. Tells you what version you're running there also. Quite simple and straightforward. Another great tool is the camera calculator, so it gives you a field of view. So you've got the field of view for your generic cameras, whether they be tablets, bullets. You're going to pick by model if you need it. There's quite a few pages of them on there, so if you want to pick a particular product, press OK. pick a particular mounting height, so you can pick that 3 meters. It tells you the amount of coverage you're going to get from that particular camera, the install angle, vertical, and the focus range. And also tells you the pixel density for your dory range. So obviously if you're going to detect, observe, recognize, identify, it tells you roughly the kind of pixels that you're going to get for that kind of coverage. The other good thing you can use in here is the fisheye. Now what you can do is there you can pick the range and the model of the fisheye, where it's fitted, whether it be on a wall, whether it be ceiling mounted, and it gives you the general kind of coverage. And again, at that kind of distance, what kind of ppm you're going to get for your dory scale. So as you see, the more focused, centralized you are on the image, the better the quality and the more chance you get of identification. So as you see the pixels there, you can change it to feet if required, but obviously most of it's done in meters. Great tool you can use day to day. And if you, again, you can click help. There's a little field of view calculator tool guide there. It tells you how to set it up, how to pick your products. Little how to guide. Great. And one of my favourites here is the product selector. What you can do is utilise this product selector if you're looking for something specific. So if you're looking for a bullet, for instance, you need to be 4 megapixel. As you can see, the list is starting to drop and get smaller and smaller. I need it to be a varifocal lens. As you can see, the list is getting small. Comparison, so what's the difference between this camera and that camera? As you can see in the bottom right hand corner here, the comparison tray. Click that, it's telling me the two products I'm comparing. Hit compare, and then it gives me the differences. Look, so it tells you well, the megapixels, well, if it's got different streams, well, the coverage on this profile like it is, if it takes an SD card. It gives you all the information there, which is real handy if you're comparing different cameras. It also covers HDCVI products and recorders, so if you're looking for 32 channel recorder, if you need audio inputs on there, that doesn't meet any requirement, there you go, so that there. Which is quite handy if you're going to compare recorders for network bandwidth, etc. So what you can do is you can go to, say I need a 64 channel network recorder, I need to have 8 hard drive bays. They've got an option of 2 different models there. I've got an MBR 5000 series and an MBR 600 series. What I can do is I want to compare this model there with this model here. Press compare, and there it tells me the differences. So I can see the difference in the processor, I can see the difference in video compression, I can tell the difference in bandwidth. It gives me all, tells me what kind of what outputs are going to HDMI and VGA. As you can see, anything that is different is highlighted yellow, and anything that is the same is white. So it just makes it make it a little bit easier for you to flag up. Great tool, makes it a lot easier if you're picking. It also covers PTZs. So if I go to PTZ cameras, find my network PTZ cameras again. If I want to be an IR PTZ, I need it to be 2 megapixel. I do have the option then to scroll down. I can narrow it down if I need it to be WDR. There's an option there. If I need to be 120 decibels, IP66 rated, it narrows it down. It gives me a full coverage off there, which is great. There are loads of other tools in here for things like extracting data. So if you have a hard drive you need to pull a lot of footage off, you do have the option to use the remote playback tool. But you can put this on your network, put a device, and then what you do is you add a device for an IP address, so you can use it remotely or a local network. You can then pull a lot of footage off in one go, saves you sitting there doing snipping with the PSS. And again, if you're unsure how to use this, click that, click about, close that down. The convert tool is quite a nice good one, because if you extract a file using a DAV, Dahua audio-visual file, and you need to convert it to an AVI or something that can be exported and given to the police, for instance, you can create a new task, you can add a task, you add a file, and you can change it to another format. As you can tell, you can pick which format you want to be converted to. It will then convert that to another directory for you, and you can put on a USB stick and use it. So as you can see, there's loads of detail that can be used in this. There's loads and loads. The VDP configuration. VDP is a dedicated VDP config tool. It will only search for VDP devices. So that's just a bit of a brief overview of the Dahua config tool. There's plenty of other tools in there. Thank you very much for your time again today. Like, follow and share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers.